one person the therapist said needs therapy is Kris.
Kris doesn't need therapy. She has her martinis.
Which the fact that this doctor of Kris Jenner during her recovery said you can choose your pain pill or a martini.
I could either have my pain pill or martini.
I know which one you picked. That martini is wild.
Welcome back to another episode of the reKap. We've made it to episode 9 of the Kardashians, and I cannot get over this episode because we finally got to see what happened to Kim Kardashian's fingers. If you follow her on social media or me, I've talked about it. I've been like, what happened, Kimberly?
I literally cannot believe I slammed it in a sliding door.
This was actually really gross to see in person, you know, like on the video, because we didn't know what was behind the cask and what happened, but gross.
Oh, it looks great.
Do you think that looks great?
I do.
Is it gonna hurt?
No, not at all.
Are you sure?
That's a good part about peroxide.
I just want to make sure that I will not need this amputated.
You will not, 100%.
I'm like a little shocked because Kim never talked about it. She was on social media showcasing her little cast of the K.
She knew what she was doing.
She did. And the fact that the scene of the crime was this iconic bathroom.
I was shutting it and there's no latch. You have to pull the inside of the mechanics out. So I pulled them out like this, and usually I stop it with my hand, but I pulled it really hard, and then Saint ran in with chips and I'm like, it's 8:30 and I know chips. And then it went boom and I was like, oh. I literally looked at my hand and I fell to the ground. And I just like grabbed the table and got on my knees because I just saw all this blood. And it was like my bones sticking out a little bit.
And now I'm like, I need a reenactment of this. Like, I want to see how heavy this door really is and what the mechanism is that we're rolling out to shut the door. It seems like too much. Like, where's the security?
But yeah, take us to the scene of the crime. You're right. Like, show us this door. Like, I need to know how you open it because her bathroom is a mechanism of itself. The sink that has no bowl, it just sits on the top.
Bathtub right there in the middle. Yeah.
So I'm like gonna blame Kanye for this because this was definitely his architectural design.
Oh.
And I hope he took the bill for this plastic surgeon to cover Kim's fingers.
Somebody's got to pay for it.
But we kind of segue into Kim's superpower, which she's mentioned in the past, which is her being calm. And I love how she's reenacting. She did a little reenactment of her reaction to getting her fingers broken and slammed. And it was absolutely nothing.
Like I didn't scream, I didn't anything. I just was like,
help, help.
Yeah, this was really interesting because we've heard for years that Kim Kardashian is so calm in every situation, and now we're really getting to the root of that with this you know, episode. But yeah, I would have been screaming for dear life, help.
Blood everywhere. Yeah.
Like, what? No, I don't know. Something's wrong with this lady, actually. Like, we need to get to the bottom of it.
Kim is getting to the bottom of it because she's going to therapy now, which I'm so proud of her.
and she was like, you think calm is your superpower. I think you are so desensitized from trauma that you literally are frozen in fight or flight.
But I love how this episode, we kind of got the flashback to the Paris robbery. And really, Khloé kind of being like, Kim, you never were calm before this. And it really brought back the old Kim on the show.
Kim, you were a lunatic. If someone touched your clothes, I was gonna wear that today. You were like, you're fully dressed. Like, you became
I should tell the
calm.
therapist because she's trying to go back to like childhood, and I'm like,
No, you were never calm as a teenager in your 20s. You were cried about everything. You were bratty. You threw tantrums.
Khloé was spot on with this realization, which is also so interesting, you know, that Kim didn't even realize and that she needs to go back and now tell the therapist so that they can unpack this. But yes, Kim was a brat. She wanted, what's the TikTok? I want the sweet. What the like, what is, like, she was a brat.
The fact that Kim had so much trauma and her reliving it on the show.
I mean, imagine you're like gun to your head, getting tied up, dragged across a hotel room. And the guy, I remember him like telling me just like, stay calm and you'll live.
I'll never forget that episode of Keeping Up when she recapped the robbery. But seeing her kind of have the realization, like, it was that traumatizing of an experience that she forgot to even relay the message to her therapist, to where she's like, wait, I need to tell my therapist about this.
Yeah.
But Khloé over here being the one that's just, hello, it doesn't take a rocket scientist.
That's when it started. It doesn't take a detective to figure that one out.
But I think it was really so poignant, though, to like point out that how how much she is desensitized from life, right?
Yeah.
She's one of the most famous women that we know. So there's tons of paparazzi. There's tons of, I'm sure things that we don't even know about that go on behind closed doors when it has to deal with like being in the limelight. And so, yeah, being this calm is not okay. Quite alarming. And she has utilized it to her best interest, but it's time to dive deeper.
It is. And it's like, I feel like she's in the right headspace. And I love that we got a little moment where Kourtney was right.
But let me tell you something. Kourtney was right.
I feel like each sister has their own, like their lore
Yeah.
to them. Like Kourtney's is eating healthy, going to therapy. And Kim is kind of following suit in Kourtney's footsteps.
I really think you should be on this journey with me and do it with me. Oh no. I don't want to be the new Kourtney, but I always am.
Kourtney is known for being the wellness queen. And so being on this trajectory years before, your siblings, and we see this in real life with like friends and different things, like everybody has to find their own journey to get to a greater point that maybe you've reached quicker than your friends. So,
and with the entire family, like the therapist being like, I started to watch your show.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, who is this therapist?
Right.
Have you never seen an episode? Did you have no idea who Kim
NDA.
Kardashian was?
NDA.
What is going on? And like the fact that the therapist told her,
That she started to watch our show to do a little bit of homework.
Well, that's probably not a good idea.
I'd be like, please don't. Like, I want you to be as unbiased as possible.
No.
But not her throwing shade at Khloé being like, Khloé needs therapy.
I know, like that's so messed up.
She said, we all need therapy, especially you.
I don't doubt it.
Khloé does need therapy. I think we've been saying this for years. Like this can also be, we're seeing her out of the house in present day. So maybe she went to therapy, and which we're going to see for the next season, to really like get out of her show.
Yeah. But with the little flashback of, I did go to therapy and the therapists were terrible to me.
I've never connected. She's just like, listens. I'm like, I just told you my whole life story, every dark demonic thing, and you're just gonna be like,
She had
Okay.
nothing to say.
no, I never got any guidance.
I was like, that's really messed up though, for a therapist to be like, yeah, well, you don't really need me.
Well, and two, with everything she was delivering to the therapist, we only know a glimpse of what
Yeah.
happened with the relationship with Lamar and Khloé. She gave us, obviously we know about the brothel, the drug addiction, the overdoses, but the fact that she's sitting there telling the therapist these things and their response is, well, does that make you upset? Are you like, whatever?
Are you
And Khloé's-
angry?
My husband, I found him at a drug den and a motel, and I was saying something, but she's like, so do you get upset? I'm like, no, I was like super calm. She's like, do you feel angry? I was like, no. She's like, I don't really think you need me. And I was like, what? Is she firing me? I couldn't really understand are you breaking up with me?
As a therapist to say, I don't think you need me. Like, what do you mean? You need Khloé Kardashian's check, for one. You think they'd be gaslighting her, but maybe figure out why Khloé's so unbothered by all this stuff.
I love therapy. I've always been a good proponent of therapy, but I think that therapy is like dating, right? So you have to find your match. You got to kiss a couple frogs. You got to find that right therapist to really, help you get through some stuff.
And out of all of the Kardashians, she's been put through the most.
Yeah.
From season 1 and early on life too, of just being the outcast of the Kardashian family. And the trash in of itself, Khloé needs therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Khloé is a really interesting human because, as you've mentioned and have met her, she's very selfless and wants to do more for others than herself at times. And so I think that going into this, selfish era, if we can even, point it to be that, I think therapy is needed.
One person the therapist said needs therapy is Kris.
Kris doesn't need therapy. She has her martinis.
Which the fact that this doctor of Kris Jenner during her recovery said you can choose your pain pill or a martini.
I had a nurse come over and tell me that I could either have my pain pill or martini.
I know which one you picked. That martini is wild.
No.
That is how strong a Kris Jenner martini is.
Iconic status.
I've seen her make her martinis with Kylie, but I'm like, I know Kris has a secret recipe and a little secret sauce to that martini.
What else do you think is in there?
I don't know, maybe what are those things she took?
CBD? Gummies?
Beta blockers.
Oh,
she
beta
probably
blocker.
drops a little beta blocker.
Beta blocker liquid.
You never know. But thank God the tumor that was in Kris Jenner was benign.
I just got a call this afternoon that said that the little tumor was benign.
Sis,
Yeah,
you didn't even
so-
tell me.
Yeah.
Nice to hear.
We're finding that out along with Corey.
Yeah, like Corey's like, you didn't tell me that. But Corey remembered the one thing Kris Jenner told him.
No sex for 2 weeks. No hooking up.
You can't hook up
they said-
for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hook up?
Corey remembered that.
Like relations?
But you would think Khloé'd be the one that was on pain pills because she's over here having conspiracy theories with the K.
Oh,
her
yes.
realization about pregnancy and childbirth and how insane that
I
was.
just wonder, the first person that was like, God, my stomach's getting big, and then a baby came out of their vagina, like they weren't concerned that would, like, why didn't they kill that person thinking that's an alien?
Khloé was having her high thought moment being sober, but I've been there, okay?
Yeah.
Because if we have all these different things and there's like, you know, witches and all these different things and you are casting out people, why was the first woman who got pregnant not casted out?
But if they killed the woman and the baby, there would not be people to procreate. So no one was that worried. Why were we just like, wow, her vagina can spread 10 centimeters and a human comes out. Like no one thought that was a witch and killed her.
And the thought of like, what is going on with me? Why am I growing? Why am I this? And then the birth of it all.
The vagina stretching how, what did Khloé say? 10 centimeters?
Literally, yeah, dilated 10 centimeters.
Doesn't
to push
that sound
baby out.
scary?
That's beyond.
And let's just say Eve was the first one to get pregnant. You think Adam was okay with that? You think Adam was like, oh yeah, this is normal. My main bitch is just like having a little human come out of her crotch.
For the first time in Kardashian history, we're actually getting to go see Kim in an actual prison.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, the real BTS.
This was a moment.
And I love how the first zhush to the storyline, whatever it was Scott Disick being like, all these guys are gonna be screaming at you.
That's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be a lot of dudes screaming and shit.
Oh, wow.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And they were.
Yeah, they were. This is Kim Kardashian in jail with us. Are you kidding me?
When Kim literally was there, and like you could tell she's a pro at this because she just walked right up to those guys and was like, can I say hi? Like, boom. They were all like, and the one guy was like, what is she doing? What is she doing?
Oh God, what's she doing? What is she doing?
I love that Kim is a woman of the people, right? So she wants to meet the people, but I know those guys were so excited. Plus, they're in there with just them.
I
So
know.
seeing a woman and then seeing Kim Kardashian, you're like, oh.
One guy had a Kim K for president
Yes.
sign. But the best part was Khloé kind of making her rounds and one of the prison inmates going up.
He said, you're my favorite. You're my favorite one.
He's like, you're the best one.
You're the best one.
Oh, I thank you. Yeah, thank you. Bye, you guys.
She says, oh, thank you. Now time to go. Abort, abort.
This is why Khloé doesn't leave the house.
Okay.
What fascinates me so much about this is all these people behind bars, they know who Kim Kardashian is. As the famous woman, but also as she can help us.
Yeah. Everybody is looking. I mean, if you see Kim Kardashian coming to your prison, like you're hopeful that you're gonna get out.
Yes.
But I stand by everything that Kim is doing in this initiative. And as you mentioned, like it was just so refreshing to go in and see what that experience is like and see those heart to hearts.
If a second chance ever does come, that I'm well prepared, that I know today that I'll never harm another individual again.
I really hope you get that second chance because you are worthy of that.
I think that even this show going in and covering this is like humanizing something that is so, you know, such a touchy topic that Kim is trying to, you know, infiltrate and help be better.
Well, if I was in prison, I'd want to be in prison at Chowchella.
She's been to many prisons.
Yeah,
though,
but like
you
this
know?
prison, all the inmates were so cool and they were getting autographs and they
just
were
seem
like
really
so
nice.
excited for the Kardashians to be there. Like, I would feel safe there knowing everyone's a Kardashian stan.
I'm extremely nervous because my sister-in-law loves your show, so if I blow it, she's gonna be mad.
And I was gonna ask if you guys could sign it.
Of course. Are you sure you want us to ruin it?
Yes.
Yes. But this is one of the prisons that, I forget Kim's partner's name, is a part of the whole rehabilitation process, which is one of the better prisons to be of. So, I mean, yeah, go off.
But if I was going to be behind bars, I'd hope it'd be a Kardashian safe jail.
Yeah, well, maybe a little DUI like Khloé for 10 minutes in jail. 7 minutes in jail.
I never knew anyone that had been to prison except for Khloé for 7 minutes for a DUI.
Khloé, you got so much cred now.
Kim bringing that up was one, so shady, but two, also I'm like,
not the same.
Khloé's never been to prison. She's been to jail.
Jail.
And LA County jail is completely different than prison.
Okay.
But Khloé like took it as like a champ. She always does.
Yeah, it was to lighten the moment.
Which brings me back to, was it the first episode we had where I was like, I wish Kim had a mugshot? Like,
you did.
I kind of feel like Kim's a little envious that she didn't get to experience that era of like, because now
wildness.
The only way Kim would go to jail now is if she was like protesting and
yeah.
sticking up for something and she went to jail.
Yeah.
But I feel like that moment Kim was a little jealous. Like, I didn't get to experience it, but my sister did.
I don't think she was jealous.
Kim wants street cred. Are you
I
kidding
don't
me?
think so.
I mean, Khloé has the most street cred out of all the Kardashians.
You know, give it up for Coco? No, Khloé Money. Coco!
Khloé Money, we live for you, girl.
I want Skims.
You got the Kim.
I do.
Khloé. We
Yeah.
switched teams today.
Yeah.
Normally it's the
We
opposite. But we're gonna go all the way to Australia, which I'm so excited about because obviously I'm the chief tanning officer of Bondi Sands.
Woo woo!
Kourtney's in Sydney. Travis is traveling the entire continent to perform with Blink-182. Unfortunately, someone did not make the trip.
Mason did not make the trip. You know, I think we were all anticipating if Mason would actually go and, you know, leave his friends behind. But, you know, it didn't pan out to be that way. And I think everything happens for a reason. I think it's really nice to see Kourtney in mom mode, which we've talked about seeing more of this like in action mom mode. So this was cool to see.
And Rain and Penelope could not be anything more than different. Complete opposites of the K.
They're polar opposites. I love Rain, first of all,
Yes.
because this is miniature Scott and then Penelope is miniature Kourtney.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing that in a sibling duo. I'm living for it.
But seeing their peak in the pit, which I hand to God, like it's because of us right now that we are getting all these peaks in the pits.
We brought it back.
And his peaks were like so like out there, and like Penelope's was just like monotone, very Kourtney,
Very
just
Kourtney.
like relaxed.
Very Kourtney.
Yes.
But their activities were cute too when she was able to get out of the house. She mentioned she only left the house for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
It was important to bring someone so that I could leave the house and go out with the other kids and do adventures with them. And so I really schedule each adventure like around his nap. And then I have a window of being gone for like 2.5 hours.
As I was watching like the yacht scene and then going to the roller coaster, I'm like, 2 hours and 30 minutes have passed. Kourtney, what are you talking about?
I know, right?
You are
Like-
lying to us.
But yeah, with the yacht of it all, and then they went to the carnival.
The carnival.
But I'm kind of loving that we're getting Kravis like to the max. Like
Yeah.
the PDA is back.
PDA is back. The baby is out, so they're back to their routine.
And like Rain is just not having it. Like past seasons, it was Penelope that was grossed out by her mom, and now Rain is over here being grossed out.
I think it's a beautiful thing to see parents, especially ones that just had a new baby, you know, be affectionate and loving. There's nothing wrong with that.
Do you like that Travis and Kourtney show PDA in front of their blended family?
I'm not opposed to the PDA of it all, and I think Kourtney is great at expressing it. Like, we just had a baby. Like,
Yeah.
I think with Kourtney's past, she never was in a true love state to where it is important for her kids. But also, if your kids are saying it's gross,
Yeah.
like, maybe it's gross.
I think there's some boundaries that can be set, but I actually really love it because I think that like kids need to see like their parents also like in love in a way so they can get the full image of like life.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, but then again, it's like their PDA is way different than normal PDA.
It's like you're seeing tongue.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine seeing your mom or your dad just like
No.
tonguing each other down?
I cannot. But hey, at least they shut down the entire Luna Park for
They
them, so no
did.
one else had to experience it. But I loved getting to see Travis really react with his fans.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Are you guys coming to the show tomorrow? Aw. We'll put you guys on the list if your parents will let you come.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no way these high schoolers are Travis's fans, they're Kourtney's fans, and they're just pretending. But they did say they liked his music.
I'm used to seeing Travis in action like that because he's super kind to his fans.
But Travis was amazing, and it was just kind of a fun little scene because Kourtney's obviously so famous, and it's like, okay, but no, who she's dating is famous too.
Yeah.
And he's over here just being so gracious and giving
He's like
tickets, being the sweetest guy.
a rock legend, a boy band, you
I know.
person.
Not a boy band, a
boy
rock
band,
band.
rock legend
Could
person.
you imagine?
A boy band, rock legend person.
I
That's
can't
what
even
we
deal. But that is all for this episode. But before we go, I need to know your peak in the pit.
My pit this week.
We're starting with the pit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The large spider cameo in Australia, wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan.
Neither was Kourtney.
Wasn't a fan. And then my peak is going to be going inside the prison. I think that, we've been anticipating this for so long, just seeing the work that Kim does and just seeing those people. She's impacting legislation. And so I think that was really refreshing.
And I love that that's your peak because my peak is just how proud I am of Kim.
Yeah.
Like, I, as her biggest fan, will never not be proud of her, but I'm just so proud. Like, watching the episode, it was one that I was like, you go, girl.
I am so incredibly proud of Kim for all of the work she's done for prison reform and to show that she's not just beauty, she's brains. She has so much empathy and compassion to other people.
Get us out, I'm trying.
Your peak?
That's my pit. What I wrote down, get us out, I'm trying.
Kim, yeah, that was
Oh,
the people. The people
yeah.
were like, get us out. She's like, I'm trying.
My pit, that was my pit.
Help us get out of here. I'm trying. I am trying.
She was like, I'm trying.
Literally, I'm like, oh my, like I couldn't imagine.
The pressure. The
I
pressure
couldn't
is getting
imagine.
worse.
I know I'm in my own lane of like, Kim's really and her family's like catapulted me to success in my life. But seeing people that their last resort is Kim Kardashian, like I could not even imagine that headspace.
Yeah, I mean, the whole system is messed up. And we know this, we've seen this. Gypsy Rose said it last week. We're seeing it this week. It's just a lot.
But that is all for this week's episode of the recap. Next week is the finale, so stay tuned. I cannot believe.
Guard your loins.
What the? What did you say? Guard your lungs?
No, didn't they say that in their worst product? I don't know why that just came out of my mouth.
Guard your what?
Guard your loins, right? That's what they said when Miranda Priestley was coming up the elevator.
Oh, honey.
I don't know why I went there, but I did.
I'm not really a Devil's Wear Prada kind of bitch.
Whoa.
I'm more of a Kris Jenner as Miranda Priestley. Remember that on Keeping Up?
Okay.
But that is all for this week's episode. We'll be back next week for season 5 finale. I'm Colt Paulson. Make sure to follow me on social media at Gay Man with a Spray Tan.
I'm Archie J. Follow me at Archie J Speaks everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I was like, as soon as I started, I stopped because I knew you couldn't do it. Vaginas in itself are scary. Adding a baby and adding the first person on the planet to see like what the hell is going on. That's scary.
Well, God works in mysterious ways.
He does, but why didn't he put dinosaurs in the Bible? Do you remember she said that?
No.
Oh, she said that on the episode.
Oh.
But why aren't there dinosaurs in the Bible?
And then why aren't dinosaurs in the Bible?
But why didn't he?
No.